The upcoming budget will be shaped by the nation's 15th five-year plan, Financial Chief Paul Chen reveals. The final suspect of the 1989 Sai Kung murder case is arrested in Thailand after 37 years on the run. And CK Hutchison triggers arbitral battle against Panama over canal ports ruling. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Ju. The Legislative Council held its first anti-chamber exchange session of the current term today, focusing on how Hong Kong can proactively align with the national 15th five-year plan. Financial Secretary Paul Chen said the upcoming budget would reflect relevant suggestions from the plan's proposals. Cheryl Yun reports.
Financial Secretary Paul Chen, leading officials including Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Algernon Yao and Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry Sun Dong, met with lawmakers to discuss advancing the city's industrial development, integrating into the national strategy, and strengthening Hong Kong's status as an international financial, shipping and trading hub. The session was chaired by House Committee Chairman Ronick Chan, as Legislative Council President Starry Lee is in Beijing attending a standing committee meeting of the National People's Congress. After the meeting, the finance chief said the government and LegCo must work hand in hand to better integrate into the country's overall development, describing it as a key test the governing team must pass. He noted positive and in-depth discussions with consensus that Hong Kong enjoys strong advantages in finance, trade and innovation, positioning the city to thrive amid current global geopolitics and national priorities. Chan added that Chief Executive John Lee would personally lead the formulation of Hong Kong's first five-year plan to complement the national strategy. He also said the upcoming budget references the 15th five-year plan recommendations, which were published in October last year, and makes forward-looking preparations. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Thai media reported that local police arrested a 62-year-old Hong Kong man who had been evading arrest for 37 years in connection with a murder dating back to 1989.
Reports said the arrest took place on Tuesday after Hong Kong authorities coordinated with Thai police to track down the long-wanted suspect, identified as Mui Yu Keung. Detectives raided his residence in the Nong Chok district of Bangkok. During the operation, he was unable to produce any identification and valid immigration documents when asked. Mui admitted that he was wanted in connection with the murder case after being questioned. Reports indicate the murder occurred in August 1989. A 26-year-old man was beaten by four individuals at a beach in Sai Kung before being buried alive and suffocated to death. Three suspects were subsequently arrested, while Mui fled to Thailand 5 years after the crime.
CK Hutchison has launched international arbitration against Panama after the country's Supreme Court annulled its licenses to operate two strategic ports at the Panama Canal. The Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office reiterated Beijing's firm support for the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese companies, including those from Hong Kong. Cheryl Yun reports.
CK Hutchison's subsidiary Panama Ports Company announced it had initiated arbitration proceedings following what it described as a campaign by the Panamanian state specifically against PPC and its concession contract. The company pointed to a year of abrupt actions by Panamanian authorities that culminated in serious damages and is seeking extensive compensation for the alleged breaches and losses. Panama's Supreme Court ruled last week that the contracts violated the country's constitution. PPC said the decision was inconsistent with Panama's established legal framework and the laws that had expressly approved and protected the concession for nearly 3 decades. The company highlighted that, relying on the unpublished court ruling, Panamanian authorities had taken unreasonable steps, including surprise site inspections and orders to grant unrestricted access to PPC's physical premises, commercial data, intellectual property and employees. PPC urged the Panamanian government to provide clarity and engage in consultations to resolve the matter. The Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office condemned the court decision as groundless and absurd, accusing Panamanian authorities of bowing to hegemonic powers at the cost of Panama's international relations, while reiterating Beijing's unwavering commitment to protecting the legitimate rights and interests of Hong Kong enterprises. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Reports suggest that during a mainland exchange tour, 2 male and 1 female secondary school students allegedly left their hotel to go drinking and spend the night together. The Education Bureau says it is treating the incident with serious concern.
According to reports, the school involved is HKSYCIA Wong Tai Shan Memorial College in Sham Shui Po. The 3 Form 5 students are said to have joined the school's exchange tour to Zhongshan last month. During the trip, they allegedly left their hotel without permission late at night, went out drinking, and rented a room to stay overnight. The incident only came to light after classmates reported it upon their return to Hong Kong. The Education Bureau said it has contacted the school, which will handle the case seriously and submit a report. Schools are reminded to enforce discipline and to urge students to value these learning opportunities.
The Well-Wishing Festival will return to Tai Po's Lam Chun from the first day of the Lunar New Year until March, marking one of the most traditional and widely loved events of the festive period in the city.
Held annually at Lam Chun Wishing Square and rooted in long-standing folk traditions, the festival is best known for its iconic wishing ritual, including tossing placards onto the wishing tree and lighting up wishing lanterns. Meanwhile, a marketplace featuring 48 dry goods stalls and 16 food stalls will be opened up for foodies and shoppers. The event, with 300,000 locals and visitors received last year, runs daily from February 17th to March 3rd, opening from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Admission is free.
In a tense day of brinkmanship, U.S. forces engaged Iranian units twice on Tuesday, downing a spy drone and fending off gunboats harassing its oil tanker in international waters. Yet officials from both sides confirmed that de-escalation talks are still proceeding on schedule. Quentin Yang reports.
American Central Command reported that an Iranian drone approached its USS Abraham Lincoln aggressively in international waters, roughly 500 miles off Iran's coast, prompting a fighter from the carrier to shoot it down in self-defense. No U.S. personnel or equipment were harmed. Iranian media later stated a drone had gone missing after completing its surveillance mission. Just hours later, 2 Iranian military speedboats and a drone threatened to board and seize a U.S.-flagged tanker transiting the Strait of Hormuz, prompting the guided missile destroyer USS McFall to escort the tanker to safety. Despite the military friction, U.S. officials insist diplomacy is not derailed. President Donald Trump said negotiators are still talking and that Iran would like to negotiate.
They'd like to do something, and we'll see if something is going to be done. They had a chance to do something a while ago, and it didn't work out, and we did Midnight Hammer. I don't think they want that happening again, but they would like to negotiate. We are negotiating with them right now.
White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt confirmed talks remain scheduled, but emphasized Washington retains many options. Earlier reports indicated U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi are preparing to resume nuclear negotiations. Initially planned in Istanbul with Gulf partners, Tehran now seeks to move bilateral talks to Oman and restrict the agenda strictly to nuclear issues, excluding U.S. demands on missiles and regional proxies. Officials say Turkey and Oman are both ready to host, but the final venue is still under discussion, as both sides test each other's resolve at sea and at the table. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Taiwan has seen 2 separate knife attacks in recent days, one in Tainan and the other in Miaoli. Together with the suspects, the incidents left 1 person dead and 4 injured.
The Miaoli case happened at a market on Wednesday morning. A 40-year-old man, reportedly frustrated after being refused to request to borrow a mobile phone, brandished a folding knife and refused to leave. Police were called to the scene. During the standoff, one officer was stabbed in the head. Officers then fired 2 shots. One struck the suspect in the chest, while the other accidentally hit a bystander's hand. The suspect was then taken to hospital but later died. The other attack occurred on Tuesday night in central Thailand, where a 29-year-old man suddenly chased and slashed pedestrians. One injured passerby ran into a nearby police station for help, and officers eventually subdued the suspect. Police say the man worked at a nearby foot massage parlor and used a 20-centimeter massage knife in the assault. Local reports quoted colleagues saying he had recently been troubled by relationship issues and appeared mentally unstable. A man and a woman were injured in the attack, suffering wounds to the abdomen and back. Both are in stable condition.
Heavy snow has swept across wide areas of Japan in recent days, causing numerous accidents. At least 35 people have died and more than 350 others have been injured. With the lower house election scheduled for Sunday, further snowfall could force polling stations to close early. Bess Leung reports.
In Aomori Prefecture, residents were seen shoveling snow piled as high as an adult along the streets, with pavements lined by towering snow walls. This winter has brought record levels of snowfall across the country. Aomori has reported more than 1.5 meters, which is double the usual amount, with cars buried completely under the drifts. Local authorities have requested support from the military, particularly to help elderly residents clear snow from their homes. Fatal accidents have been reported nationwide during snow removal, with Niigata Prefecture recording the highest number of deaths. In the city of Kashiwazaki, a garage collapsed under the weight of snow, fatally injuring a man. Weather authorities said temperatures will rise slightly as warm air moves in, but warned of another widespread snowstorm from Saturday, with coastal regions along the Sea of Japan likely to face blizzard warnings. Sunday's lower house election could be disrupted, with reports suggesting more than 18,000 of Japan's 44,000 polling stations may shut early. Authorities have urged voters to cast their ballots ahead of time. Bess Leung, Cable News.
United States President Donald Trump has approved a sweeping funding measure bridging an end to the short-lived government shutdown that began last Saturday.
The legislation cleared the House of Representatives on Tuesday by a narrow margin of 217 to 214, following its earlier passage in the Senate last week. The package secures financing for most federal departments until the end of September. However, the Department of Homeland Security has only been granted temporary funding until February 13th. Democrats pushed for this shorter deadline after federal agents were involved in fatal shootings of 2 Americans in Minneapolis, sparking widespread controversy and protests. This arrangement leaves Congress with just 10 days to strike a deal on Homeland Security's budget. Democrats are passing for significant reforms, particularly aimed at curbing the powers of immigration and customs enforcement, as well as customs and border protection.
Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 12 points. Top active stocks of the day: Tencent was down $23. Alibaba was down $1.50. Xiaomi was down 64 cents. And SMIC was down $1.70. A gauge revealed that business activities in Hong Kong's private sector expanded for a 6-month.
The Hong Kong Purchasing Manager Index rose to 52.3 in January from December's 3-month low of 51.9, signaling a 6th consecutive month of private sector growth. S&P Global, the index compiler, said purchasing activity picked up in the month, with foreign sales expanding at the fastest pace in nearly 3 years. However, business confidence slipped to a 5-month low, weighed down by concerns over the United States trade policy and intensifying market competition.
On to the weather now. Mainly fine with coastal mist tomorrow morning. Warm during the day. Temperatures will range between 18 and 24 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thanks for watching and good night.